Good morning and welcome to the Daily Downbeat. I hope you're enjoying some Saturday coffee. I'm going to take a sip. So today's song comes from the 2012 album True Defiance. The band is Demon Hunter and the song is Tomorrow Never Comes. And the cool thing about this one is we got a little bit of dialogue straight from the lead singer of that band, whose name is Ryan Clark. Now, also keep in mind that this was kind of a breakthrough album for Demon Hunter commercially. The album hit number 36 on the Billboard 200 and number 2 on the top Christian album charts. Interestingly enough, the album title kind of also works from a genre perspective because there's elements of metalcore, emo, thrash, and groove metal in this. And the cool thing about it too is Ryan Clark talked about the peaks and valleys and how much he enjoys that in an album. And when Demon Hunter first started, they were really hardcore. And I'm sure I'm using that terminology incorrectly, but they were just smash in your face, 1-2. Never really had any peaks and valleys, so to speak. It stayed up on this peak level and just kept hitting you in the face. But as time went on, they started adding a lot more of that and ended up with 2 albums called War and Peace that were very different as well. So anyway, we're going to jump into this song, Tomorrow Never Comes, and we're just going to take these words straight from Ryan Clark because, I mean, he wrote it, so it'd be great to hear what he has to say. This is stereotypically the point in a Demon Hunter record where things will chill out a bit. I like albums with peaks and valleys. I get bored with records that sit in a singular dynamic from start to finish, which is why we've always incorporated songs like this on our records. It allows us to explore an entirely different set of emotions and a varying musical style at the same time. There's still a dark, heavy quality to it, but it comes as a welcome from the preceding brutality. And he goes on, I have to admit I like to play with words that sound like they're saying something but actually mean another, which is definitely the case with Tomorrow Never Comes. If tomorrow never comes, for all the cold and bitter ones, we can breathe. At first glimpse, it seems like I'm saying, if the cold and bitter people would just die, we could breathe easy. But what I'm actually referring to is someone whose life is in a downward spiral motion and the hope that whatever ill fate dwells around the corner never comes for them. And, Scripture has a lot to say about this, but stop and think about that. With September 11th being yesterday, I can remember when that first happened, the angst, the fear, and just the wondering of what's going to come each day after that. And at that point, newly married, still kind of young in my faith, so to speak. I think it was like 23 or 24 years old. I hadn't really learned to put so much of who I was straight into the arms of my Father and just lean on him through rough times. And I think this song really kind of speaks to some of that, even those feelings coming back, after September 11th. Just the fear of what tomorrow looks like or what's yet to come, or, I think about not really living in the moment, so to speak, like we talked about a couple days ago in the Johnny Cash song, because you get so caught up in what's yet to come, you're not really thinking so much about today. So we're going to look at a couple verses. We're going to look at Matthew 6:33 through 34, and then we're going to come back around to Isaiah 41:10. And in Matthew 6:33 through 34, these are the words of Christ. So those red letters always mean more to me. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. And that really kind of speaks to what we were talking about. If we're not thinking about today, then what does tomorrow matter? Each day we're given a task and given a goal, and it's up to us to really kind of figure out what that is and walk in that. And if we're too busy worrying about the next day or the next week, month, year, then there's not much to say then there's not much to do about that. And 2020 has been one of those years that's just been horrible about this, because we're always thinking like, what's next? What's next? What's next? This year has been so horrible, but there's so much going on in the here and now that we can focus on and figure out what to make positive out of all this negative. And I tell you what, go ahead and smash that subscribe button, like, comment. Let's talk a little bit. I've already starting to hear a little bit more from people, and we're going to have some great conversations. And we're looking at doing a Reddit page and some other stuff too, so that we can really, really get this narrative going, because this is good stuff to talk about. So hope you'll join us with that. And so the next verse we're going to look at is Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. And like we talked about, this is really, really the same sort of narrative. You know, don't look at tomorrow. Look at right now. He's going to lift you up. He's going to make things better. You know, this also goes for that narrative of looking at tomorrow as being a better place. You know, so many of us are planning for tomorrow and planning for what's to come, and you know, stockpiling food and all this other stuff. And I'm not knocking that at all. I'll be honest. We have our own, you know, food supply and reserve, you know, lasts about 2 weeks or so, especially being down here during hurricane season. But what I'm saying is, if you're so focused on what's to come and not today, and it doesn't matter how you're looking at tomorrow, if you're looking at it negatively or positively, you're really kind of squandering today. I'm going to be a little unorthodox here, but so on Saturday Night Live, they used to have this thing called Deep Thoughts back in like the 90s. And one of the ones that's always stuck with me and I always remember is, if you have 1 foot on yesterday and 1 foot on tomorrow, you're peeing all over today. And what better way to put that? I mean, if you're not focused on today and you're looking either way, the past or the future, then you're squandering what's going on right around you. And really kind of that seems like that's been the message for this week in many ways. But, you know, that's really what's to take away from it. Know that tomorrow doesn't really matter. Today is what matters. Tomorrow's going to come on its own. It'll have its own troubles. Let's focus on what's going on in the here and now. And, you know, I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're having a great weekend. And get out there, enjoy the sun, enjoy your family, enjoy time together. And we'll be here again tomorrow so you can take this all to the bank. And we will catch you then. Take care.